A common theme in society today is there never seems to be enough time in the day for everything. As a parent, I suffer this because I struggle to say no. This is a problem with me. And if you're a parent, you may have these multiple responsibilities within your family. You could have one of these families that you have lots of families and you have kids here and all sorts of things, and mothers there and grandparents and all these activities as well. And you have limited time for yourself. So time management becomes a real issue. Time management expert Robyn Pearce joins me now and talks about getting a grip on parenting time, because it's so hard. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Duncan.
What's the best advice?
Well, you've already touched on one, is the ability to say no, and that goes right across the board with every, like all my business clients, I share that one with as well. From parenting perspective, one thing is, and it fits to that as well, is that we often try to fit in too much. So I would say, look, if you look at it a couple of different ways, strategically, sort of at a top level, is doing a bit of an analysis with your family as to what you're spending all your time on. So it's a bit of a time log, just in a very loose way.
Yes, because I got pulled aside by a mate the other day who said to me, Duncan, you need to start saying no.
Yes.
Because I'm not
good
very
advice.
good, and work has started saying that to me too. Stop saying yes to everything.
Oh.
Because I'm going to let people down.
Yes, and there's a lot of people that will have that expectation. As you get a little bit older, I think you start to realise you just can't make everybody happy, because if you're trying to keep everybody happy, you'll end up making nobody happy.
And you're stuffed and you get tired and you just can't be...
all of that.
You can't be that one person in two places.
Yes.
So no is good.
Yes.
You need to keep reminding people.
What about guilt? You've got mother guilt, you've got father guilt for not spending enough time with your kids, often because you're working full-time or doing shift work. How do you deal with that guilt?
That's a great question, actually, Amanda. The one thing that I would definitely recommend is it comes back to not trying to fit too much in, but with the guilt is start noticing what you are doing rather than thinking about what you're not doing. Often it's a mindset. So make sure, for one thing, would be to have little chunks of quality time with the kids, for example. An example right back when my children were 6 children were young was we did up a family chart, and 6 kids, there's not a lot of spare time for anything, but we realised that we weren't doing individual one-on-one time with each child. So it seems a very small amount of time, but we allocated half an hour per week per child. The child got to choose the activity and they got to choose the parent. And I can still
I love this.
I can still remember my daughter, quite young at the time, only girl with 5 boys, sitting on the floor having dolls' tea parties with her dad.
Because how important is it? Because I have a sister with 6 kids, a partner with 5, a brother with 4 kids. You've obviously got 6. How important is that one-on-one time with the child?
Well, it's super important, but it doesn't have to be a huge amount. So if you can give them some focus time, turn off all the devices, we would say these days, give them quality time that's focused on them. A small amount of quality time, in fact, goes a long way. So you've done at least that half hour really well. And another tip would be to have family time perhaps once a week. That can help when you turn things off.
What about diaring into your own mind a sanity gap?
Oh, yes.
You talk about this stuff.
I do talk about sanity gaps.
Yes.
Yes, and people can get more about this on my website at getinagrip.com. There's a free report to download on sanity gaps and planning time and things like that.
Yes.
So finding sanity gap time, that's got to be planned. And I encourage people to look at the year and block in, about every 6 weeks, block in some time out.
How long okay, this is important. So every 6 weeks, how long do we need?
If you can get a weekend, that'll be the ideal.
Weekend?
Yeah, a weekend.
Realistically, I'm thinking my sister can't get a weekend. What would be the next sort of a good, for her probably what she'd say, a realistic amount of time that she should take?
It might be a day, because you can usually get somebody else to look after the kids for a day. If you can have, when you're a young parent, if you can have even a night and a day with no children, it feels like somebody's given you 2 Christmases all at once.
Well, it also feels like you've lost a leg. At times.
Well, you get over that quite quickly, let me tell you.
Yes. Oh, no, you didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
You get over it about 30 seconds. I sometimes feel a bit strange when they're not there, you know?
Yes.
Because there's so many around me. Hey, thank you so much. Brilliant.
My
Really good advice.
Duncan.
And thank you for reminding me about no.
That's a pleasure. You hang on to that business card.
I'm going to. I'm going to blow it up and put it on the fridge. No is your most powerful time management tool. So it is time to say no more. We're gone. Thank you so much. That is us for today. Amanda and Melody.
Thank you.
You play no more part in this. We're gone. So thank you.
No, I'm not listening.
You have listened all day. So that's us, the only member of the AM show today. We're giving this to Catherine Trezona from Altogether Autism for your work, Catherine, helping autism sufferers into the workplace. Really crucial. These people otherwise might be overlooked, you see, and you're getting them into the workplace and it could change their lives. It's also about changing perceptions as well from the employer's point of view. You knock on their door and you say, hey, just think about these people. They're actually quite brilliant and they can do something. Think about the IT space. Think about what they can do with computer programming. Quite good, eh? It's been a real privilege spending the morning with you all today. And thank you to my brilliant studio crew and, of course, our brilliant producers. We'll catch you in the AM tomorrow.